Heavy overnight rain has resulted in severe flooding in Port Morant, St. Thomas. Several areas have been inundated with cars and homes left almost completely underwater. Residents have once again pointed to persistent drainage issues in the parish, calling for urgent intervention.
You're supposed to put in a bigger culvert where all people can walk on without not touch it up. Nothing no go so. I feel them crap. Yeah, man. I feel foolishness them do, and when the people them talk to them, they don't want to take no telling from them. Since they know, then they up the start turn fool, they don't know what them do.
I force this excuse still. If them something I never help, it a worse. Right now the Chinese place up is a flood out. The whole water runs to the building.
In the meantime, Counsel for the Port Morant Division, Dancehall Smith, acknowledged the challenges and reiterated the need for improved infrastructure.
That is that Port Morant, with all the work that is being done, has become a bottleneck where it seems as if all the water flow right through. Roadworks were done, are still being done, adjustments are being made, but it seems as if everything is to naught in terms of the benefit. If you look on right now, we're standing in more than a foot of deep water right at the gateway of the compound, and behind me you will see the cars. The vehicles are almost practically underwater, and this is not the deepest place around here, it's just that it's closest to where I'm being interviewed.
President of the Egg Farmers Association, Mark Campbell, has reacted to news from the Ministry of Agriculture of the cessation of imported eggs. In a release, the ministry stated that the temporary waiver expired on February 28.
The Jamaican Egg Farmers Association would like to express its full support for the position taken by the ministry. It is based, apart from their own research which they have done, it is in line with the recommendation which we have made in recent times. We welcome the move and we look forward to our continued good working relationship with the ministry.
Garbage disposal continues to be a major issue in some communities across Manchester. Speaking at a recent community meeting in Harties, Regional Operations Manager at the NSWMA, Sheldon Smith, noted that while crime in the area has decreased, improper garbage disposal by residents remains a concern. He explained that in some cases, collection workers are forced to wait for residents to bring out their garbage. This results in delays and longer wait times for service in other communities.
Garbage is a partnership business. A lot of times you see our workmen on the road going through, and it's a difficult task for them. But just for you to understand, it's a partnership. You at home, you have to separate. You have to take out the yam skin, the Irish potato skin, and the chicken. Those have to come out, right? You have to separate it at source. So that's your part. Next thing, you have to bag it. You have to make sure that it's in a proper container. And the other thing, you have to make sure that you place a drum at your gate so that when our workmen are coming through, they can easily remove the drums, empty the drum, and move along quickly.
It's time for a break. Stay with us, more stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. It's now time for the Business Minute.
The Ministry of Agriculture says the temporary waiver granted for egg imports on December 1 was implemented at the request of the Jamaica Egg Farmers Association to help stabilize supply distribution caused by Hurricane Melissa. The ministry noted that about 60% of the eggs imported under the waiver, which expired on February 28 this year, were brought in by local suppliers. It adds that no new import permits have been issued since December 2025, citing a deliberate strategy to manage the country's egg supply based on assurances from industry stakeholders that local production has recovered sufficiently to meet demand. Further afield, global oil prices have fallen sharply and stock markets have jumped after the US and Iran agreed on a conditional 2-week ceasefire deal that includes the reopening of the key Strait of Hormuz waterway. The price of benchmark crude oil fell about 13% to $94.80 a barrel, while US traded oil was more than 15% lower than $95.75. But oil prices remain higher than before the conflict started on February 28. At the time, it was trading at around $70 a barrel. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Carrie Ann Simpson.
Thank you, Carrie Ann. And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's Health Report. In this evening's Health Report, we look at Wilms tumor.
It is an abnormal growth growing outside of the normal controls of the body. The most common ones that we see in children is what we call the Wilms tumor or a nephroblastoma. And this we see somewhere around the toddler years, mainly around 2 to 3 to 4 years old, although we have seen a few outside of that age bracket. So that is the most common one, Wilms tumor.
That's the Health Report in Primetime News at 7. And now for today's Healthy Living tip. Pay attention to symptoms. Keep regular pediatric checkups to monitor your child's health. Consult a doctor promptly if something seems unusual. And prioritize early detection to improve treatment outcomes. It's now time for the top regional and international stories.
Key stakeholders are now scrambling to determine the citizenship of a child born aboard a Caribbean Airlines flight from Jamaica to New York. The child was delivered mid-flight on the Caribbean Airlines flight on Saturday as the aircraft approached John F. Kennedy International Airport, prompting medical personnel to meet the plane upon landing. While the airline confirmed the birth as a medical event handled by crew according to protocol, Immigration attorney Brad Bernstein said the legal implications could be far more complex. According to Bernstein, the baby's citizenship depends entirely on where the aircraft was located at the precise moment of delivery. If the birth occurred within United States airspace, the child would automatically qualify for U.S. citizenship under the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution. However, if the birth happened outside U.S. airspace even minutes earlier, the child would not be entitled to automatic citizenship despite landing in New York. Despite these complexities, the birth is expected to be officially recorded in New York. U.S. President Donald Trump says he agrees to a proposed 2-week ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran if shipping traffic is allowed to move through the Strait of Hormuz. Tehran's Foreign Minister Saeed Abbas Araghchi says Iran will agree to the end in fighting if attacks against Iran are halted. The U.S. president had set a deadline of 8 p.m. Eastern Time for a deal, or else a whole civilization will die tonight. Pakistan, which has been acting as a mediator, called on Trump to extend his deadline for 2 weeks to allow diplomacy to run its course. And those are the top regional and international stories. I'm Shane Masters.
Thank you, O'Shane. We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.